in Appleton, Wisconsin, getting ready to get loaded. And I don't think they have a lot of people working today since Saturday. And I'm here getting ready to get unload or get loaded for a load that's going to go to Fort Worth, Texas. So today I wake up and find myself a little bit unsure of what I want to do with myself. Do I still want to leave Bay and Bay? Since I don't think I've done a live feed since I had a conversation when I was coming back from Salt Lake City. I was climbing those hills over there by the Lincoln Monument Rest Area, and I got a call from my dispatcher and her boss, and I can't remember his name. It might be Todd. I don't remember the guy's name. He said his name, but and ever since we had that conversation, even though I kind of feel like he was telling me some untrue stuff, tried to tell me that they can't track me and tell me and see if I'm running early or not. They can only tell more so if I'm running late, and said they don't have the technology like a lot of other companies I've worked for to be able to tell where I'm at. Well, that right there was a lie, because my dispatcher has been able to look me up and tell me where I'm at without me telling her. She's been able to tell me that I was at the Egan Yard. She's able to tell me that I was at a shipper, or that, I mean, several occasions she looked me up and told me where I was at. So, but ever since we had me and that guy, mainly, she was there, but didn't say too much. But they just kind of sat there, because she went to him and said that I was being very frustrated with them having me sit because I was running so early on loads. And he was trying to tell me, that it's not all their fault that this is going on, that I'm running early and then they're not ready for me and stuff. And so I don't know. It was a very confusing conversation, because it's unlike he was trying to tell me he wanted me to communicate more with my dispatcher of when I was going to be at my spots. Let's see, make sure this is on. There. Now the messages are on. But in that same conversation, when I told him, okay, I'll try to communicate better between the hours of 7 and 4, and then he said, and then he kind of backtracked, and he kept telling me that he's not coming down on me. He said that I'm doing everything right, and I do everything right. Problem is, even after that conversation, my next phone call with my dispatcher a day or two later, I apologized to her for whatever attitude I had given her at any time. And she said, don't worry about it, I'm a truck driver, and blah, blah, blah. And then I said, you guys must have a lot of slow drivers if you guys feel the need to give that much time on all your loads. And she goes, oh, we got drivers that only drive daytime, that if there's any kind of weather even in the forecast, they're parking it. We got drivers that this and that they come up with all kinds of excuses to park their truck, and they have to reschedule their loads. So I get that they might have drivers like that, but they got to know who their drivers are that do that, and their drivers are that want to get out there and run their butt off like me. And ever since that conversation, every load I've had since has definitely been a little tighter, a little more like it should be. And I haven't heard back from the recruiter from CR England about that drop and hook Anheuser-Busch run, that it's a dedicated Anheuser-Busch beer lane that I'd be serving the lower 48 half of the lower half of the 48 in the United States and be home every 2 weeks at 66 cents a mile, which sounds really good. That sounds like the perfect thing for somebody like me who runs their butt off and doesn't mess around. And so the last few days I've been running recaps here, and I think I can get a 34 in before I got to be to Fort Worth. I've already got 10 and a half hours in, and I can just sit for 24 hours. I can just PC somewhere or sit somewhere for 24 hours and still make it down to Fort Worth, Texas. I got till I just started a new book. I just started I gotta be there on the 26th at 1 o'clock, and let's see, it's the 23rd today. Okay, the 24th on Sunday, 25th on Monday, so Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And I'll definitely be there before that. I can do a 24, I can sit for 24 hours to get my 34 in. And then just run down there. I think I know exactly what this place is. I think it's a place I've been to before, and then we'll see. And then I got to run over to the Denton yard to go get more trip sheets because I ran out. I thought I had a second pad up in these things, and I hope I didn't bring that extra pad to the house for some reason. It got mixed in with other stuff I brought to the house when I was getting stuff off this truck. But I don't know, today I'm kind of thinking, but that recruiter hasn't called me back yet. I'm sure I'll hear from him by Monday or Tuesday. And I'm trying to decide whether I should just stay put and see if they can keep this up and keep me busy better and try to run the loads better and see if they can do better now that they're I definitely lit a fire underneath their butt to try harder, because it is their job to not have me sitting, especially if I'm a driver that doesn't like to sit and I'm a driver that runs hard. That's the load planners and the recruiter's job. That's the company's job, is to keep their trucks rolling as much as possible within the limits of, the DOT hours and all that stuff. And I'm not doing anything special. It's not like there's a lot of other drivers out here that are better than me and probably can run even harder than me. So it's not about that. It's about the fact that they put me on runs with insane amount of load times on them and aren't prepared. Literally the guy told me that they really don't have the people out there. They don't have the support structure out there. So if guys are running early all the time, the way I have been, to necessarily just get somebody over there to let me drop my load somewhere and get on another load right away to keep running. So he said they just don't, they're not as big as some other companies. They don't have drop yards everywhere, even though they do have a drop yard in Salt Lake City, and I know they have plenty of drivers around. Whether or not they have the time to go over and pick up a load and deliver it to Costco, and like when I was 25 hours early last weekend to Costco and had to sit for that whole 25 hours. So Hirschbach, yeah, I did hear back from Hirschbach, and I just I felt the stuff that I felt the stuff I was hearing from CR England sounded like more my speed. But I did hear from a Hirschbach driver at one of the fuel, when I was sitting getting fuel at a Love's the other night. He was a lease operator. So it's kind of hard for me to go to compare lease operator income to company driver income because their stuff works differently. So I don't know if I should compare what he was telling me, but he did say that if you sit on runs, they pay you $180 a day at Hirschbach to sit each day if you have to sit. So I didn't ask my dispatcher, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, there's been one or two times she said, or maybe just once, she said she would give me layover pay because I was going to have to sit on a run. So she told me that on that one run, that I was getting layover pay for sitting on the one run. But that was the run I got 20, is that the same run? Trying to remember. Yeah, I think that's the same run where I got 25 up. I was able to get 25 hours early, and I picked it. It was supposed to be picked up at 2:30 in the morning. I picked it up between 6 and 8 the night before. So, and I just ran my time. When my 10-hour break was up, I got up and I was up, and I didn't necessarily get in my driver's seat right away. I think I messed around doing stuff for another hour or two before I took off, and then drove. I drove from Rochelle, Illinois to the North Platte Flying J, and then after my 10-hour break, I got up, messed around for a couple hours, and then I went and fueled because that was my fuel stop at that North Platte Flying J. And left and got all the way from North Platte Flying J to the Costco in Salt Lake City at 4 a.m. and I wasn't supposed to be there till 5 a.m. the next morning. And they sent me away. Said my appointment time was 5 a.m. and told me I'd have to leave and come back. They didn't even tell me whether or not I'd come back an hour early or 2 hours early or anything. I meant to ask, but she kind of was quick about. Told me to go turn around and kind of walked away and was back in the door before I could really get her attention. So whatever, it is what it is. I mean, this I mean, it's part of trucking. It happens. But Hirschbach was more of yeah, there was potential to make more money from what she was telling me and stuff. And she was a real nice lady. She sits down there in Tennessee out of one of their Tennessee offices. But I don't know, I find myself just questioning whether or not I should just give them more time. Do I give Bay and Bay more time now that they seem to realize that I'm serious about wanting to run hard? Give them a chance to splitting my blood pressure pill here. Do I give them the extra time? Do I just give them a few more weeks? Because there's always going to be other jobs out there. As a truck driver with the CDL, with my record clearing up, because I did have some some minor stuff on my record that needed to clear up. The oldest things was a few warnings, which I guess even warnings follow you. I didn't realize that warnings followed you that much. But just, even if you get pulled over, even a warning follows you. And someone told me that the warnings follow you worse than the actual ticket. So I think that's kind of stupid how it all works. I'm pretty good about not getting pulled over, but I did a couple of times a few years ago. I have definitely mellowed out a lot from when I first came to Alan Ritchie from doing other stuff. You know, you get in the truck and go. We just had to pick up at the post office, and all we got was like a tiny piece of paper about this long that they would print out, and that was pretty much our load papers, was just that one paper. That was our, if we had to take our paperwork into the DOT office at the scale or whatever, that was our slip telling us those, you know, all the numbers and everything was on there. And you get in and you just drive, man. And it was usually on a team truck, and not much. Oh, I'm at Americold. I'm supposed to get loaded here soon. Hopefully I'll get interrupted. Hopefully our load feed will get interrupted and I'll have to go up to the dock. So, hopefully they don't say anything. I should have probably went and got a trailer washout. The trailer is kind of dirty, at least towards the back. I think it'll be fine though, but I probably should have done a trailer washout. So I just have never done a trailer washout since I've been here at Bay and Bay, and I don't know if there's one around here that they could use, but I'm not sure where the nearest one is without looking one up. I bet you I could look one up in here in my. Let's see. Let's see, is there even a blue beacon close to here? The first one it gives me is one in San Antonio, Florida. Closest one is 76 miles. Everything is hundreds and hundreds of miles away, or thousands of miles away. But I know that there's other trailer washes around, and this might not be a blue beacon. So, yeah, I should have probably done a trailer wash before I came over here. So there is some nasty stuff towards the end of the trailer. The rest of it's mainly just wood chips. I could get up there in a little bit here and sweep it out a little bit, get some pieces of wood out of there. Usually that's all it's been with most of these trailers. It's just you get up there and you got to sweep out the little pieces of wood. Normally it hasn't been terrible dirty, but nothing that's just not easy to go get in there and just sweep and just grab one of these Walmart bags and throw them in there and then just throw them in the trash when you get somewhere. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm not even sure what exactly there. I just know it's frozen product and it's going to let's see, is that an Americold down there? Wrong book. I'm going from an Americold to an Americold. So I'm going to the Americold down there in Fort Ware, Texas on Beecham Boulevard. Some of you may have been there. They got all those trucks parked on the street, and you got to make that sharp, depending on which way you're coming in at it. It's right there on the corner, and you go up the hill to the guard shack, and you got the street right here. And if you're coming off the main service road, getting off the highway, you come at it from this way, make a right, kind of jut in to make a left, get in line. Yes, I am. I am a company driver. So, yep. So, anyway, I'll probably just get loaded and then just PC over somewhere to park for the next basically 24 hours, and then run down there and still be there early, since it's not due till Tuesday. And I'll be there by middle of Monday morning, early in the morning, or something like that. Let's see. Let's see. Let me do this. How many hours does the GPS actually say it is there from here? 17 hours. So, yeah, we got time to do it. We got till 1 o'clock on the 26th, which should be Tuesday. Tomorrow's the 24th. Monday, the 25th, Tuesday, the 26th. Yeah. Easy. I'll be there easy peasy. I'll be earlier than crap. So I'll be contacting them. I'll be sending them an updated PTA before I leave when I'm getting ready to take off on that last few hours. I'll send them a PTA, and hopefully they'll be ready to get me on another load. But we'll see how long it takes me to get unloaded, because I know that place is busy, and it sometimes takes them a while to get you unloaded at that Americold down there. It's pretty busy. This other driver's trying to talk to me. I don't know, he's gesturing to me, doing something like, I don't know what the hell he was doing. So, whatever. What the hell does he want? He's in there pointing down. He's in there asking me if I needed to go there, and he's asked me if I needed to go to that dock. They haven't called me yet to tell me which dock to go to. And I think it's just one guy in there. It looked like it might have been one guy in there, just maybe only like a skeleton crew in there working. When I went in there to check in, there was like hardly anybody in there. I had to wait for someone to come to the office to get checked in and give them my trailer number and phone number and stuff. and he told me to wait, and he would give me a call when we were ready. So here it is. You all know how it works. Just sitting here waiting to get loaded, and on the weekends it can be a wait. Because some places on the weekends they don't have as many people on the working. So we will see. This is my brand new safety vest. I bought a few more so I'd have them, because my other one's getting rather worn down. This one's getting real tattered and stuff. It's still fine. It's getting stained up and old looking. But I got this one that has the pockets in it. And I bought a 2 t-shirt style for summer. The black, which you guys have seen these. The black, and then the regular neon orange. So they still got the tags on them and everything, and I got those so I would have some more winter appropriate vests and safety stuff when I go to some of these places. So it is what it is. Just trying to figure out what I want to do with myself, because I could be sitting in orientation sometime the week after Easter at CR England, getting ready to go through orientation, and then get on a truck and start running, dropping hook loads of Anheuser-Busch beer and driving all over the lower half of the 48. So, and get paid 66 cents a mile versus 64 cents a mile. And yeah, which I know their trucks are going to be governed a little less. I know that they're slower trucks. They tend to go 64, 65, depending on which truck you probably get. I don't know if they vary like some companies do. They have, most of their trucks are governed at a specific speed, but then some guys get lucky and they get a truck that's didn't get turned down as much as the others. So like me and my co-driver Alan Ritchie, we had a 70-mile-an-hour truck, and everybody else was like 68 or 67, and so we got through our run a little bit quicker than everybody else. So, but the cameras and the sensors on that truck, the camera would talk to you on that truck. If you even looked at your phone, it was saying, "Put phone down, put phone down." And if you got too close to if you were riding too close to someone else up front, it didn't take long to say, reduce following speed, reduce following speed. This doesn't talk to you. This, I've only seen it go red twice the whole time I've been on the truck, what's it been, 4 months since the very beginning of December is when I went to orientation at Bay and Bay, and I've been driving, and now it's the end of March, getting ready to be April. So been right about 4 months roughly. So what do you guys think? Do you think I should give Bay and Bay more time, or do you think I should just go to a different company? Do I give them a chance to see if they can keep it up? Because switching company is going to cost me a paycheck or so, but if they continue to mess up, then I'm going to lose even more money from sitting more. Because every time you sit for 10 hours or so, it costs you hundreds and hundreds of dollars to sit, when you could have been running when you have a clock. It's one thing when you got to sit and do your 34, but every time you sit longer than your 10-hour break, it costs you so much. Oh, they're calling me, so hold on. I'll be right back with you. All right, you guys still there? Yeah, I just got told to back up to a dock. Oh. Ah, darn it, I gotta hit to get the APU kicked on. Battery's just enough, just low enough, so I'm gonna have to force the stupid APU on. It's not on standby, so what the hell? There, now it should be on standby. Stupid thing. Is it on standby yet? It won't kick on if I can't get it on standby. There it is. I just gotta wait for the APU to charge the battery up a little bit. Then I can go over to the dock. There we go. APU just kicked on. I gotta wait a little bit for it to charge up. Stupid thing.
You have 3 hours and 21 minutes of remaining drive time.
Gotta wait for this to kick on. Kicked on. Or was that the reefer kick on? Come on. There we go. Now we're charging it. Gotta let it get all the way up there. Usually I'm too impatient and I try to start it too soon and then I have to redo it. There we go. Alright. I'm gonna have to go around that little middle area. Dock 5. Just on the other side of the JB Hunt trailer, he said. Okay. And these docks over here didn't appear to be labeled. I'm gonna mess up my... There, those docks are labeled. 1, 2, 3, 4, right there, 3 and 4 right there. So, yeah. Alright. Lord, your picture is coming across blurry as crap. Must be the sunlight causing it to go out of focus. They got gobs of room in between the docks. Now, since you guys are so blurry that way, you got more room. A little bit. Can't even tell if I'm straight. Well, there's a line for me to go by right there. Alright. Let's get out and open up the doors. They didn't tell me to slide the tandems. So they're really not that far forward anyway. Look at all this fun ice at the dock. Alright. So, fun. I just back up and wait to be loaded. I feel like I'm slightly crooked. I don't think it's gonna matter though. Alright, oh finally the Qualcomm's rebooting. So, put this stuff in here. Let's see what kind of comments we got. Same ones that were there before. So, I could wait on these. I could wait and see how Bay and Bay does over the next few weeks. And if they can keep me rolling for a few weeks, or I can just do like I'm going to do. Easter weekend is just next weekend, so that's when me and the recruiter were talking about is like April 1st or April 2nd, heading out to Salt Lake City to the CR England headquarters there to go through orientation and get ready to get on a truck and go out on loads. So I'm also due for my DOT physical on the 12th of April. And I gotta get that every year because of my blood pressure. Oh, there they are. Just went red. Yeah, I mean, when the guy tells me that they can't tell where I'm at and they're more set up, they can't tell whether that I'm running early or not. But my dispatcher has on multiple occasions been able to say, "Oh, you're here. You're at the Egan Yard. Oh, you're at the shipper. Oh, you're here." When I've heard her say that on multiple occasions, so I am almost not upset with my dispatcher. I'm more upset with like maybe the load planner and whoever her boss was that called me. It might have been Todd, even the other guy that works here at Bay and Bay that I talk to sometimes. He said that it was Todd, and I don't know the last name, but he's one of the guys in charge, one of the managers or something. And so he says the reason why you got so much time on these loads isn't because Bay and Bay sucks at math. It's because he said it was because when they call in to tell these companies when their drivers can be there, then they tell them what the dock times are available, and sometimes that's usually how it goes, which is BS. Because come on, I've worked for this isn't my first rodeo, folks. I've been out here I've been driving. I've had a CDL for 24 years. There was about 2 to 3 years in that period where I never was on a truck. But you consider. So what do you say? That's a 21 years experience or 24 years experience? Even though I did do some temp jobs here and there, but having a regular driving job where I was loading. Well, they are definitely loading me. But yeah, and like I said before, going back to CR England would be like a redemption period for me because of how much of a rough start when I got started from CR England. And all companies pretty much work the same with how all starter companies start the same. It's all numbers. You are a number, and you could tell that as soon as you got there. And I saw the worst at CR England. I saw the worst version of that when I went there for the first time. The first day they have at CR England is different from other companies I've been at in how they have their rooms structured. And they have like this auditorium with a stage that they bring everybody into the first day, and the guy gets on the stage. They bring hundreds of people in the first day of orientation, with all the starter people and stuff, and there'll be a whole auditorium of people. I don't know if they don't necessarily fill every single seat, but they'll fill up a good amount of that room, depending on, at least the first time I went there, that's the way it was. And then you go from that to doing, the first day they're doing DOT certifications, checking you out to see if you need whatever. They told me I needed glasses, so I had to go to the shop code that was on their little route. They have a little shuttle bus that they shuttle drivers around on a loop from CR England over to, there's a Shopko on that. There's a couple of restaurants, and I'm sure that there's more there now. I know that they've built a lot more in the area, but you had a shuttle bus that would take you around to wherever you needed to go on a loop. And I'm sure if you needed to go to a doctor's office, wherever, they would have someone bring you there, just like all companies do. But by the first day, they whittled down, we'll say 100 to 200 people down to, a good 70 or 80 people. By the second day, we were down to about half of that. By the time class actually really got rolling, it was just about 30 people. And as you go along, people drop off here and there. And then it was kind of stable while we were in class doing we'd either be outside doing stuff with the actual trucks one half of the day, or we were in the classroom learning trip planning and logging and all that stuff. And they were talking about shifting and all that, because back then, that was back in 2000, and they had a whole backing range. They had everything right there, and their instructors were certified to sign you off once you did your driver's test. But you still had to go to I believe Salt Lake City, the Utah calls it the DLD instead of the DMV or whatever, the driver's license place. Anyway, we went there, and that was before 9/11, so getting your hazmat and all your endorsements was just a matter of passing those tests and paying the money. And back then, hazmat was like $30. Yeah, and some of the others were 15 or 20 or 25. Each one was a different price depending on the endorsement. And I've had doubles and triples on my endorsement ever since. I got I had a tanker's endorsement. I had all those endorsements ever since. The only one I haven't kept on there is hazmat. I let it kind of expire because I had needed to have a hazmat anywhere I've been at since then. None of the places I've gone to work for the last several years needed me to have a hazmat. CRST was kind of pushing me, and my girlfriend at the time that was my co-driver, she went there as a newbie. I went there as a refresher, and when I went there in like 2012, I think that's what Todd told me. He was pulling up all my driving history stuff. He was pulling up all this stuff when we were talking, and was trying to see what kind of driving experience I had, and so it was funny. Coffee's not hot, but it's not necessarily cold. But yeah, CRST and CR England are like brother and sister companies as far as I know, and they operate very similar. Very similar, at least from my experience from being at CR England almost 24 years ago now, to when I went to CRST in 2012, however many years ago that was now, because I left CRST to go to Allen Ritchie, and I drove for Allen Ritchie for 8 to 10 years, minus 2 times leaving for a year. So yeah, I've been hauling that mail. You know, I'm used to go. I'm not used to sitting. I'm used to keeping my foot to the floor. And here I've been using the cruise control more than I ever have in the history of my trucking, because of how much they want me to use the cruise control, because they think it's going to give them better fuel mileage and stuff. And I've noticed I kind of have to use the cruise control if I want to get up to 68 miles an hour. If I notice when I try to use my foot, I'm sitting at 65 or 66 miles an hour instead of getting up there to 68. So I kind of have to use the cruise control in order to get the 68 miles an hour, which kind of sucks because I prefer to use my foot all the time, because I don't like to have that cruise control on, because then the sensors are more active. In my experience, the sensors tend to be more active and do stuff more, and you don't have as much of the sensors catching bridges and stuff when you do that, and trying to hit on the brakes. And when you don't have the cruise control on, the sensors don't sense stuff throwing the brakes as much, and then I also don't have to worry about the truck catching and then pacing other trucks. You know, that this truck, I've noticed, is a little more abrupt, and so you will notice it more. It's a little more abrupt in the way it goes about pacing other vehicles that you get behind that you are going faster than and trying to catch up to. At Allen Ritchie, the trucks would be a lot more subtle. If there was only like a few miles difference per hour, it would, if you weren't paying attention, it would just subtly pace that truck, and you'd just be sitting there. And then if you weren't paying attention because whatever reason, you would look up and you go, dang, I've been behind this truck for a while, I know I was catching them. And then you realize that you're sitting there pacing that truck, and you'd be like, goddamn sensors. And then you would, you know, put your turn signal on, and about every time once you realized it, there'd be like 2 or 3 trucks or cars or whatever. You'd have to wait to get out of your way before you could get over the left lane right about then, because you would have been out there in front of all that stuff and passing that truck, but instead because you weren't paying attention for whatever reason. Happens to a lot of different drivers. But a lot of co-drivers complain about the same thing. So dang, we've been on here for 55 minutes. Alright. But yeah, we'll see. I'll give them till Monday or Tuesday for CR England to call me back and to see. I don't see why anything would come back and haunt me, because everything is old, over 5 years old. And most of the stuff that is the freshest is a couple of warnings. Being in the left lane in Glenwood Canyon warning, and a warning for speeding in Glenwood Canyon in Colorado. And then I have some speeding tickets that are like, they're old. So depending on how far back they go back to check. I mean, I think I remember when I was filling out that app, but that was kind of like the app from Driver Pulse that you fill out, and it goes to everybody. And it was kind of that style of application, not like a direct CR England app with like their letterhead on it or anything. And all it asked was like in the last 3 years. It didn't, and so it didn't go back 5 years. I think it only said went back 3 years. So I'm not worried about anything at all. I do think it's going to be interesting. I just got to figure out how I'm going to what I'm going to do with all this stuff, and how much of it I'm going to continue to carry on my next truck with me, and how much of it I'm going to keep off the truck, because I've actually accumulated too much stuff on the truck. I've got way too many clothes on the truck. I don't need all the clothes that I have on the truck. It is nice to have extras, but I need to like limit myself to how much stuff, because I've been going home and doing laundry. I bought laundry soap and did I get dryer sheets? I can't remember. I know I got laundry Tide Pods up there, but just in case I was on somewhere I needed to do laundry because I was running out of clean clothes or something. But I've brought so much extra clothes on the truck. Good Lord, I'm never going to run out. And I was just home recently and did laundry, and I've only got a couple of sets of clothes that are dirty. And I've got all kinds of clothes up there in a huge duffel bag. Plus, I got another bag up there with clothes in it as well. So I got more clothes than I need on the truck. I've got probably 10 hoodies on the truck. I need to limit myself. And I brought back some more of my hats. I brought a whole bunch of hats on, but I didn't bring all of them, but I did bring a lot. I've got a couple of I got like 6 Hooters hats. I got some camo hats. Some of them have the Punisher skull on. I got 3 different kinds of Punisher skull camo ball caps. I've got some of those bandanas that you guys have seen me wear before. Just a small handful though. And I did grab a few pairs of shorts from the house last time I was home, so I'd have shorts because it's been getting warmer out in some of the places I've been at. It's actually been warm enough to wear shorts, but I never have put on a pair of shorts yet because it has been too warm. Or not, it hasn't been warm enough long enough, I should say. So but yeah, so I have noticed that they have been giving me the tighter loads though ever since that conversation last weekend. When was that? When did I deliver that load to Costco? I delivered at 5 a.m. on the 19th, which was what, Thursday? Thursday or Friday? I think it was, or is that Wednesday? And then I went and picked up my load later that day. I went straight over to Springville to Nestle, and their scale was all messed up. For those of you who have not been there, it's one of those few places that you go to that when you pull up to the guard check, when you pull up to the guard check window, and you got a window right here next to you, you're sitting on a scale and they're getting your total weight right there. And then going out, they actually have an axle by axle scale on the leaving part, but it was fucking up. It gave me 3 different weights, and each time it gave me a lower weight. And so I went and scaled it over there at the Flying J or Pilot, whichever it is. I think it's a Flying J over there. And I scaled it, and one of the other Bay drivers was there, and he was waiting, just parked his bobtail in front of a trailer, and he was waiting. He was one of the older drivers, and he came over, and because I brought my trailer back after I brought it in before I ever went to the Catskill, and I was trying to figure out how to slide my tandems to see, because I'd gone in and re-talked to the guys up there and told them that I was probably gonna have to get the pallets reworked, and they told me it'd be a little while before they could get me to a dock right now, and to see if I couldn't get the weights right. So I went and I tried. And was trying to slide it because I was like really heavy up front to the point that I didn't think I could correct it, but I was able to. I'm all right at sliding tandems, but when you already got extra weight up front because of APU and stuff, and trying to deal with the heavier weight up front and trying to figure out how to manipulate that weight, plays with you a little bit more. And then I'm really rusty at it too, and I do all right with a truck that doesn't have the extra weight on it. Like when I was at K&B, I just seemed to know exactly. I was just like, I would go scale my loads, and I would scale out, and I knew exactly. I just could look at it and go, okay, each hole is like 250 to 500 pounds depending, and I would go, I need to move this much weight off the front or the back, so I need to slide this direction or this direction, and I just kind of guesstimated, and usually I could do it, you know, I could slide the weights real good, and I got it within 2 scales. I very rarely ever had to go three, and I just kind of like knew, I just kind of guesstimated and had it so it was all legal and everything, and I wasn't so heavy up front. I had a 10-speed Freightliner at K&B, and everything just worked out good. But then these Kenworths are notoriously supposed to be heavier than most Freightliners, and then when you add an APU that adds another 500 pounds on there, that kind of adds there. So I'm just kind of rusty at the sliding tandem things, but I do okay. I know I'm not the best. I'm not as good as some though. my big strengths are pretty much backing, knowing how to back and get into a spot, and knowing when I need to reset up and all that if I get into a funky situation or something, funky angle, and just running my butt off and not stopping all the dang time and messing around like a lot of other drivers do. So, not like I guess a lot of other Bay and Bay's drivers. I don't know how many other drivers Bay and Bay has that calls and complains about having too much extra time, like I did. My dispatcher definitely seems to be trying, but I think I need kind of on the fence today. But I probably will still go. Just a little put off by them not having called me back. They had Thursday and Friday to call me back. Yesterday, Hirschbach called me back, and that was about 2 days. And so yesterday would have been 2 days for CR England. And I tried calling him yesterday, and they were going to have him call me back, and he never did. And he hasn't responded to my text that I sent him, where I texted him, do they have a sign-on bonus? And he never responded yet. So I know he'll be calling me back, and hopefully he'll be calling me back with all good news. I'm pretty sure it will be. I'm not worried about anything. Anything that I would be worried about is old enough by now that shouldn't be a problem. The only place that gave me any flack about anything in my past record was JB Hunt, and they came back about one of my warnings, and the recruiter at Bay and Bay told me I don't think the recruiter at JB Hunt knew what she was doing, because she said that the stuff that she was harping about was like well old enough that it shouldn't be a big deal, and no one would really care. And so normally in the past when I've tried to go work somewhere, I try not to, if it's just, depending on how old it is, if it's older than 3 years, depending on whether they said they're going back 3 years or 5 years, I won't even write anything down unless I know it's a big deal or something. I just wouldn't even write it down if they asked me if I have anything, because normally they only go back 3 years on a lot of these companies, because they're so desperate for drivers, they're not going back as far. So oh, I got a green light. I'm gonna let you guys go so I can get driving and get going. I might go live a little later, but I'm gonna go get my paperwork and stuff, and then I gotta figure out where I'm gonna go park for the next 24 hours. So I got 24 hours to kill before I get back on the road again. So talk to you guys later. Bye.